Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Tosin Opelua. I'm a mental health professional and a certified transformation coach. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how depression shows up in men. You see, depression shows up differently for women and for men. And one of the reasons why it's so hard for people who are actually internally motivated to be transformed, to pursue their purpose, to pursue their goals, to experience changes in their life is because people are depressed. And sometimes some people also, you see them, they are working so hard and it looks like they are hitting it, they are making it. It might actually be a sign of depression in some men. Let me give you an example. If you suddenly find yourself feeling irritated, you don't drink before, but you suddenly feel you need to start drinking. As a man now, you suddenly realize that things that interest you, maybe going for ball game or going fishing, you suddenly don't really want to do it. When friends call you to let us go out to visit other friends, you don't want to do it. If you're a Christian, you don't want to go to church anymore. Then it's time to check in for depression, especially for people who you call workaholic. And I'm not saying that all workaholics are actually depressed. No, that's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is if you find yourself escaping into work without dealing what is going on mentally, emotionally, then it's time to check for depression. You see, depression can show up for women in form of how they take care of themselves, not wanting to shower, their everywhere is dirty, their kitchen is dirty, it's hard for them to stand up, they're sleeping too much, they're eating too much, they're gaining weight. Depression can show up for a woman that way. Now, when it comes to suicide, when we are just looking at the patient health question, the PHQ-9, the 9th question that can help us to see the spectrum of the depression, then we can look at questions like, do you feel withdrawn or do you feel down or depressed in the last 2 weeks? Do you feel like you're eating too much or you're eating less? Do you feel like you're sleeping too much or you're sleeping less? Do you feel like what interests you before is no longer interesting? Do you feel that you are finding it hard to concentrate on something? Do you feel like the way you talk is actually reducing? You're becoming sluggish in the way you process things, and it's becoming obvious to people. Do you also feel like you're worthless, you're hopeless, or you've disappointed your family members? Do you also feel like, oh, if you are not here, you'll be better off, or probably you'll be better off dead? Then those criteria, when we put it together and see, is it every day? Is it nearly every day? It's about 0 to 3. So if you pick 2, especially for the last question, if you'll be better off dead, if you pick either 1 or 2 or 3 and not a 0, then there's every tendency that you have a severe depression and there's a need for you to do something quick. I tell you, do something urgently. Now, when you ask a friend this question and they tell you, oh, I'm feeling this way, or you ask yourself these questions and you realize that you honestly answer and say, yes, this is the way I'm feeling, then it's time for you to take action. One of the first steps to take, or one of the first questions I will ask you is, do you plan taking your own life? If you answer yes, do you have a plan? Do you have the weapon you want to use? Do you know how you want to do it already? If you answer those questions, then I will say you need to call. If you live in the United States, and honestly, this video is probably meant for people in Nigeria more. And actually, because I see the rate of suicide increasing in Nigeria among men, and before it wasn't common. If you find yourself feeling this way and you are in Nigeria, you need to call the number on the screen. And I just hope, Nigerian government, these numbers are working. People are going to be able to reach out to someone for help. For those of you who actually have good friends in your life, it is time to call them and tell them, this is what I'm experiencing. Another thing you need to do very urgently is to contact a mental health professional. I don't know how open this is in Nigeria, but you need to find someone. At least maybe you start from your church if they have a counseling department. David was depressed in the Bible. When my heart is overwhelmed, take me to the rock. See, when people are depressed, it does not necessarily mean they are demon possessed. No, please. When people are experiencing depression or when people are experiencing sadness, allow them to see a professional and then join them in praying. If you are a man and you experience some of the symptoms that I talked about, and I'm going to talk about this again, you're feeling irritated. It is hard for you to get along with people at home, including your wife. It's hard for you to get along with people at work, including your boss. It's you just want to drink and drink and drink, and people are saying, why are you drinking this way? You don't even know the reason why you are drinking that way. You already spend a lot of time at work, and you know deep inside you that you're just using it to escape. Or you begin to make mistakes because you are no longer concentrating. And when you're responding to things, maybe you're in a meeting, your speech is slow, and people are identifying and saying, this is not Ogakunle now, this is not how he used to talk. Then it's time for you to do what I said. See a professional. See a professional. And if you're feeling suicidal at any point, talk to someone. Call the number that is flowing on the screen. In the United States, the 988 is the line to call, is the crisis line to call. Some of the things that I expect the Nigerian government to do is to have a functional mental health hospitals in every local government in Nigeria. This is very, very essential. See, it's time for us to stand against shaming people for their mental health. Mental health is part of our well-being. It's part of the definition of what health is, according to the World Health Organization. We can't afford to joke with taking care of our mental health in Nigeria. Because why? When we put the right people in right position with the right frame of mind, we will get more results in our society. I am saying this and I'm saying it again. There's a need for us to have a mobile crisis outreach department, even among the police in Nigeria, so that they can attend to people who are experiencing crisis, mental health crisis. It is time to stop tying people down in churches and beating them. Please, if you are experiencing any of this, reach out to people for help. One of the reasons why it's hard for men to reach out is because of what the society will say. Most of our men believe that men don't cry. Most of our men believe that men need to curb their emotions. But we are all human beings. We are made of the flesh and blood. Hence, there's a need for you to show your emotions if you are feeling down or depressed. Another reason is men don't want to seek professional help because you feel everything is okay until you see or the world see that it's not okay. Don't wait until that time. The pain you will leave for the people behind will be more than the shame you think you will experience if you let people know what you are going through. Please, let's talk about it. It's time to stop shaming people for their mental health. It's time to start supporting people with their mental health so that we can have a better world and a better society. Remember, when men want to attempt suicide, it can actually turn to death at that moment. For a lot of women do attempt suicide as well, but sometimes they don't always succeed the first time like men do succeed the first time. Please, I am begging everyone, Let's watch out for our neighbors. Let's watch out. And I'm not saying you should poke nose to the affairs of the next door neighbor. Your neighbor is your spouse. Your neighbor is your friend. Your neighbor is your colleague at work. This person used to be jovial. This person used to be nice. Then suddenly they are becoming irritated. Then it's time to talk to them. Ask them what is going on. When people tell you they are depressed, make sure you ask them. Ask them directly. Are you feeling suicide? Do you have a plan? Do you have the thoughts? Do you have the idea? Do you want to carry it out? Let us ask them. Let's explore this together. In my coming video, I'm going to be talking about how you can actually assist someone to design a safety plan for them to be able to keep themselves safe from the suicide thoughts and ideation. I hope this helps somebody. I feel very emotional about this because of the death of the recent guy that died, the guy who died recently, and left messages for people here and there. I wish he has opened up to those people that he was sending those messages to. Maybe he will still be alive today. Kokinshi Asasio, it is not hypnosis. It is mental illness. Please, it is mental illness. It is called depression. It is called major depressive disorder. God bless Nigeria. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.